With winter weather and extremely cold temperatures coming soon, it's important to remember to be safe while traveling. Slow down, avoid breakdowns, and those freezing temperatures. And above all, exercise caution. With these four concepts, which I refer to as SAFE, they are a great way to prepare for winter. Having been involved in a few winter accidents myself, I've also done a little bit of research and found that accidents during this time of year are much more prevalent. It's important to remember to slow down while traveling when it's cold outside. The Department of Transportation and the Federal Highway Administration have stated that 40% that highway speeds are reduced by up to 40% during the winter weather months. This is due to various weather events, be that blizzards, black ice, or even freezing rain. Other more cautious drivers are already slowed down by 40%, and they can be lost or they can be not seen due to poor visibility or even misperceived speed. It's also important to avoid breakdowns. It's always refer to your vehicle's owner's manual and make sure that you're up to date on your service intervals. Generally, you'll find a service interval in the back of your owner's manual of your vehicle. Something else I generally do in the winter months is I keep a couple of blankets in my trunk, as well as an ice scraper, a hat, and a pair of gloves. It's also important to carry a first aid kit because you never know when you might need one. During those cold weather months, it's important to keep your fuel tank above adequate fuel level. So I usually keep mine filled up to at least a quarter tank, and when it gets down to that level, I refill it. I learned the hard way that the importance of a full fuel tank because one of my accidents involved me going into the ditch late at night, and I can't tell you how stressful it is when your fuel tank's on empty and you're waiting for a tow. It's also important to check the pressure in your tires. The air pressure in your tires will reduce over time, especially when the temperatures drop. This is just due to the colder temperatures, means denser air, lower air pressure in your tires. Make sure they're inflated properly. Another thing to check is your tire tread depth. So, every manufacturer has a wear mark molded into the tire. It's important to check these marks, and once the tire gets down to that mark, you should be replacing, especially with heavy snow coming. Always dress for the weather. Avoid those freezing temperatures. Don't dress for the occasion. Make sure you're wearing winter boots, gloves, a hat, and maybe even a scarf. Be aware of the wind chill factor. So, wind chill factor is what your body feels based on the wind speed outside, and couple that with the ambient temperature. So, at times, it could be 10 degrees outside, but with the wind chill involved, you're feeling more like negative 40. These temperatures are extremely dangerous and should only be traveled in if necessary. And lastly, exercise caution. As I've been told many times over the last few years, walk like a penguin. This is to avoid the slips, trips, and falls. Those hazards generally involve black ice. They can also involve, just a thin layer of snow. It doesn't take much for them to happen. The Mayo Clinic and the CDC have stated that around 1 million people are injured every year due to slips, trips, and falls during the winter weather months. This risk is exponentially greater when the weather gets colder. Winter weather will be upon us in no time, so always remember to stay safe. Slow down, avoid breakdowns, those freezing temperatures, and above all, exercise caution. Following these concepts discussed over the last few minutes will ensure that you and your loved ones will be safe while traveling this winter and for many winters to come.